understand. We get it. You PlayStation fanboys just can't take your L, man. It is what it is, bro. And what's even more funny that you guys want to go on record and saying Xbox has no games, and yet the only games that you people are anticipating and playing on the PlayStation 5 is Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Sea of Thieves, Grounded, High Five Rush, which are all owned by Microsoft. Didn't you say you was looking forward to Doom Dark Ages? I wonder who owns it. How about Indiana Jones? It's so sad that Microsoft is single-handedly saving even your own platform because Sony's out here putting remasters and remakes, but y'all want to sit there and say Xbox ain't got no games. Are you kidding me, man? Are you serious? You tell me the last game that Sony has made for your audience that ain't no remaster or ain't no remake. You people is capping so hard for this, man.
Versus Xbox, but because of a very strange story that just popped up that the internet is kind of making fun of, Microsoft Gaming is actually asking developers, players, all sorts of people, why the hell don't we have games? And this is a...
What? Uh-oh. See, now you're trying to push your agendas. First off, they're investigating as to why some of these developers are not putting their games day and date on their platform. We get it. Sony's doing now those backhanded deals like they've always done during the PlayStation 1 and 2 with those publishing rights. We know what Sony's been doing. I've been following Sony ever since the PlayStation 1, so you people can't tell me anything. Sony is well aware of doing this, as well as Nintendo. Okay, they have history in this by having their other companies out there trying to skip games on other platforms. Nintendo did with the Sega Master System as well as the Sega Genesis, and Sony did with the PS1 and 2 by having games skip GameCube and the original Xbox. That's why Microsoft came out with the 360, try to build relationships with a lot of these Japanese studios, and you guys blamed Xbox 360 for why they ruined Final Fantasy 13, because it was their fault as to why the game was third party, acting like you had ownership of these games anyway. So let's break this down, man. Yes, Microsoft has every right to investigate that because, to be honest with you, it don't make sense. Baldur's Gate 3 was made on the lowest requirement on PC, which is capable on the Series S, and yet the game had an excuse of, why we skipped Xbox? Do you people really believe this? You gotta ask yourself, if it runs on the lowest common, and let's not forget, Xbox Series X and PS5 all use the same hardware. So what is the excuse if these games skip an Xbox? But before you people say, well, see, nobody want Xbox. They don't want to put the game on Xbox. No, there's some things going on behind the scenes as to why that's the case. And that probably explains as to why Microsoft went out there and bought Bethesda and Activision, because now they got an even playing field. Now Sony just can't do that. They can't do that themselves, but they still trying to work around with Square by saying, hey, put 16 here, put Rebirth here, and guess what happened? Those games failed, and they're going to come to other platforms anyway, because the way Sony's handling business is not right. If anything, all Sony's doing is destroying your beloved franchises, while Microsoft is keeping them alive.
100% serious, but today we're going to talk about it because it seems like Microsoft has realized the problem isn't just exclusives, but at this point...
Oh, really? A PlayStation fanboy telling Xbox owners it's not just about exclusives when your audience don't even buy your games. They're not even going out there lining up, picking up the PS5 Pro. What are you talking about, bro? Your system's being sculpted by scalpers, and y'all ain't even gonna be able to get one, but I guess Sony cares about their consumers, right? They care that the PlayStation fans get one, and not these 12,000 scalpers out there.
Third-party developers, even people that typically in the past would have put a game on like the Xbox 360, have completely abandoned the platform, and they don't understand.
Oh, really? Last time I checked, Spark and Zero still dropping on the same date as the PS5 version. Now, we do get on a case-by-case basis that some of these games, like Black Myth Wukong, Baldur's Gate 3, for an example, are skipping the Xbox platform. But this has always happened, guys. What do you people don't understand? This has always happened. You know what? I'm gonna break this whole argument, bro. I'm about to destroy it. Y'all ready? Because I came prepared for this. Some of these games skip the Nintendo Switch. So would you go as far to say that the Nintendo Switch is dead because some of these games, like Dead Island 2, don't get ports to the Nintendo Switch? Oh, no. Where's your argument now? These games are skipping the play. Nintendo's losing out on a lot of third-party games as well. How come you ponies don't want to bring that up? But the Nintendo Switch is still successful because of what they're doing. Hardware exclusives, and people pay for their membership for their subscription and their games. That's why Nintendo's being successful. You see how I broke that down? So when you guys want to use this argument and say, oh, well, they're skipping Xbox. Well, then imagine how many times third parties skipped the Nintendo Switch. Did GTA 5, did Red Dead Redemption 2, did any of these games drop on the Nintendo Switch? Well, it's because it's not powerful enough. Well, that's the same excuse you use for the Series S. And yet the Series S still getting these games. So what is their excuse now? When are you going to move the flagpole now? Just sit there and take your L, bro. PlayStation ain't doing well right now. And like I said, keep enjoying your remakes at 60 FPS.
Understand why nobody cares about Xbox, but
nobody cares about Xbox.
Let's discuss. I hope you're having a great day, and if you could, please
you're not
give
a real
this
gamer,
video
bro.
a like. And so, would you only put games on PlayStation?
They're not just putting games on PlayStation. They're putting games on PC as well. What do you mean? Even Sony's putting games on PC. Now, with the whole thing going on with some games skipping Xbox, I've seen that, like I said, as an Xbox owner, and I say to myself, why is this even happening? It doesn't make any sense, right? But I do think it's Sony trying to do this power control. You guys got to remember, they own Evo. So when y'all was sitting there talking about how Marvel Arcade Classics wasn't on Xbox, even though it is coming now, that we found out, maybe Sony has that pull. They're like, we own Evo, we promote fighting games. Capcom, this comes out to us first. And of course, why not? Would they not do that? Because y'all forget that back in the days, Sony owned Evo, but Street Fighter 4 was playable only on the 360. Fighting games played better on the 360. Now they don't have to do that. Now they can just use PCs. And I mean, matter of fact, a lot of competitive players complain about the PS4 with input lag. Matter of fact, a very prominent player by the name of Snake Eyes was complaining about the lag of the PS4 version of Street Fighter 5. Remember, bro, you think people forget? Bro, I'm too knowledgeable for this, bro. You people are just looking for anything to bash Xbox. What about the games that are skipping PlayStation? What about those games? Oh, y'all don't want to talk about that, right? Okay.
Now, there is an interesting extra bit of this, which is that a lot of people are pointing out the fact that Microsoft is just not selling systems. The sales of the Xbox...
That's funny, considering that the PS5 Pro is selling worse than the Xbox Series X, but okay.
...itself continues to get worse and worse and worse. But also, additionally, the advertising from Xbox themselves doesn't seem to champion the Xbox. It just seems like even if you put something, if you're like... ignored it. They just did not put that game out. In fact, there was talks about...
That's funny, because where was this argument when games like Pal World and all these other games skipped PlayStation? Now the game is on there, but like I said, same thing with Black Myth Wukong. Like, that game got skipped on Xbox, but it's coming on that platform at a later date. Just like how with Baldur's Gate. So why are we complaining? Why are we going for this tick and tack time exclusivity garbage? Because I told you, these companies don't care about exclusives no more. Because if they did, they would just lock them to one platform like what Nintendo's doing. Like, you people know this, man. You guys want to keep capping. Now you got people saying, oh, PC and PS5, they're still exclusives, but y'all was saying that Xbox One, they didn't have any, all because they were coming to PC. And now all of a sudden it's changed, bro. You ponies are acting like the same dudes from the Xbox One generation, and people are calling you out for it.
Phil Spencer himself had to step in and get this game published. Phil Spencer is the head of Xbox. Like, this is... Not in a derogatory sense, that job is 18 steps below him. How many people failed at their job that Phil Spencer himself is having to go in there and get a game published? And this is from a person that has already done the work. It is completed and ready to go. It seems like Microsoft just does not understand how to run a gaming business, which is extra baffling.
Oh, really? After Concord $400 million failure, and you want to sit there and tell Microsoft they don't know how to run a business, even though most of their multiplayer games are successful, while the ones on Sony isn't?
To consider that we're so many generations deep. Like, it's not like it's their first console and they're just figuring it out.
No, there's favoritism. You know, I'm calling it. Oh, like, what? There's favoritism. Crap Gamer was always right. As much as he's always been, with the way he is, but he's always been right. The Xbox tax, all this stuff is real, bro. Y'all don't want to see Microsoft be successful. It is what it is, bro. Microsoft has done every single thing to get you people to want to be on board with Microsoft and their ecosystem, and you people still just dismay it. You still have an issue with it because of the nostalgia of what PlayStation brought to you during the PlayStation 1. But I hate to break it to you, fanboys, those experiences that you enjoyed on those PlayStation 1 and 2 consoles was nothing but third party. And now that has shifted, now Xbox, PC have become prominent places to also play these same third-party games, because we're not talking about exclusives anymore, are we? We're talking about how third-party games are skipping Xbox.
The Ouya, this is freaking Microsoft. They've done Xbox, the 360, the Xbox One. I mean, how many generations?
And there was games that skipped the Xbox One. You failed to forget that too.
For them to still be trying to figure out how to make it easy for people.
And the funny thing is, this has always been happening. Like, as much as you people want to sit there and nitpick, because this is what y'all doing at this point, nitpicking, there was games that skipped the PS4 that dropped on Xbox One, and there was games that skipped Xbox One that dropped on PS4, bro. I can give you several examples, bro. Several examples, but you people want to just keep hating, pushing this propaganda, pushing this console war garbage, and I'm going to be sitting here exposing it because I don't like this nonsense. It's stupid. You guys are nitpicking essentially, literally nothing. Like, I mean, it's so bad that they even consider Black Myth Wukong an exclusive, even though it's on PC and it's coming to Xbox. Like, you don't hear these ponies talking about Baldur's Gate 3 anymore, do you? You don't hear them saying it's the greatest game anymore, do you? Because they didn't care for it. And they never did. That's all these ponies do is cap. They cap for everything.
To publish games. Now, a lot of people have been chiming in about the fact that it does seem like, just in general, Microsoft's biggest mess up when it comes to Xbox is Game Pass or bust. I actually think this is an incredibly good take.
So we're going to act like you just can't buy games on the platform?
And I love the way he puts this, which is that there have been a bunch of studies about the fact that Microsoft gamers, people that play on Xbox, even the lack of hype with upcoming stuff like Perfect Dark, I feel like it's beginning to signify that the platform of Xbox.
You know, these are games that you mentioned, right? These are games. See, something that we don't hear about Sony. We always hear about some remaster or remake or whatever new hardware they got going on. But you said Microsoft had no games, but then proceed to show a game that's coming out on Xbox. Please make sense out of that.
Has become accidentally irrelevant. Now,
what?
Let me really try and break that down.
Yeah, please do.
The fact that
please do.
In the gaming industry, optics are incredibly important. How people perceive stuff is pretty much what's going to make you or break you more than...
That's not true, because people perceived a lot of things about things, and guess what? They still chose not to support it. You guys perceived that Concord would be a success, $400 million bust. Should we call it that? A bust? Right? Because that's exactly what it was, right? But Sony perceived the game to be good. So it seems like people's perception on things doesn't really matter in the end, because you fanboys have that perception too. And look what happened with Rebirth, Forspoken, Final Fantasy 16, and Foam Stars. Now look what's going on with Helldivers 2. So what perception or perceive or what you perceive is going on here? Just like Sony perceived that the Pro would sell like hotcakes and the only one people are buying is the 30th anniversary bundle, or should I say scalping the 30th anniversary bundle.
Anything else. If you say Xbox got no games, it's hard to break that stigma. The same way that I feel like PlayStation's biggest strength, for better and for worse, is that now they're considered the default console. And I will forever stand by that. I think PlayStation is what people who want to console game buy the most often. If you're looking for a good handheld, I feel like obviously the Nintendo Switch completely dominated that market. If you're more of a super hardcore gamer that's got a big income, PC gaming, of course, is your go-to. But I just feel like when it comes to standard casual console gaming, which...
And that's the problem. You got me with casual right there.
Is honestly a huge chunk of the market.
And that's the majority of the PlayStation 5 audience. That's why they don't buy your exclusives, because they're too busy playing these so-called quote-unquote no Xbox games.
Sony has stopped the competition, and now Xbox...
Oh, they stopped the competition. It's because Microsoft's doing so bad, and they got, no games coming out as to why Sony's doing bad. Be quiet. Do you hear yourself? That's not stopping Nintendo from dropping games. Oh, it's because now you Sony fanboys know your platform's trash. You know it. Deep in your heart, you know that the PS5 has failed you. You know it. Because from a gamer's perspective, the console sucks. I'm sorry. When it comes to first-party games, there's nothing that I'm looking forward to from Sony themselves. Now, if you want to sit there and say Black Myth Wukong and Baldur's Gate and all that, all of them are available on PC, and all of them are dropping on Xbox at a later date, on top of Gears Z Day, South of Midnight, Perfect Dark, Fable, and you want to sit there and still say Elder Scrolls 6, and you still want to say Xbox got no games. There's got to be some huge distant reality or alternate reality that you ponies are coming from to say that Xbox got no games when every game that I mentioned was either a sequel or a new game, prequel, whatever, but a new game, nonetheless, out of a respected franchise. And you is out here playing remasters and remakes, and you think you have the audacity to talk crap about Xbox's library?
Xbox doesn't know how to get back into the mindset of the casual gamer, which is
man. I don't want the casual. Get them out of here. I don't want them. I'll take my 30 million hardcore Xbox fans out there. We don't want you casuals because y'all will ruin the platform. Go over PlayStation. Go ruin that.
Makes your billions. At this point, telling people, hey, subscribe to Game Pass. You get these games that maybe will hopefully be good, even though they're going to be like 5 hours long and not come out for 5 years.
You see the hatred, bro? You see the hatred, and you call yourself an old school fan, and you was out here downplaying, hating on the Perfect Dark, bro. You call yourself an old school fan, Gears Z Day. Come on, bro. Like, y'all doing too much, bro. I get it. You ponies don't have nothing to play, but y'all doing too much, man. Y'all need to chill, bro. Perfect Dark looks far better than anything that I've seen on PlayStation. Facts. Argue that. I'm looking forward to playing it. I enjoyed playing the N64. I enjoyed playing even Perfect Dark Zero. I enjoyed it. I'm an old school Perfect Dark fan. I'm looking forward to this game nonetheless. Like, you people are like, bro, you make me sick, bro. Like, you people, there's something physically wrong with you people in the head to be thinking this. Xbox has no games, but yet the only games you ponies looking forward to is Xbox games coming to your platform. You think people are fools? That's why y'all say, oh, we just wait for everybody to die so we can play their games on my platform. But if Xbox had no games, then you would have gained nothing if they died.
I feel like games like this, even screenshots and stuff like this, it feels like just in general, Xbox has put themselves into a very toxic corner. And the fact that they're even now beginning to ask the question of how did we mess up, this is way, 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 way too late. The last thing I want to say is something I read in this book, Console Wars by Blake Harris.
God, this guy even got a book of Console Wars. I'm done.
Very, very good book. I think it got turned into a TV show or a documentary. I'm not sure about that.
Wow.
But at one point they talk about...
This man actually bought a book called Console Wars, bro. And y'all say he ain't a fanboy.
The rise of Nintendo after the death of Atari. Now, this is early 80s, late 70s kind of time period. But
so what relevance does that have now?
At one point, this lady talks about getting hired at Atari, which at that time was already making hundreds of millions of dollars. And she asked how they did their market research. And the heads of Atari said, what's market research? They were just making games. They were just printing games randomly. They would just greenlight a bunch of projects. Some of them would succeed. Some of them would fail.
Well, there's a reason. It was oversaturation, and that's where the whole seal of quality and, them just pushing on any game. That's why a lot of trash games came out. Matter of fact, it's funny that we say that, but a lot of these same games get put on PlayStation 5 with easy platinums. I've seen them. Jumping Burger and all that. So it's so funny that you guys hated Atari for that. But yet you guys are spending $1, $2 just so you can get a easy platinum on your PlayStation accounts. That's so funny. It's so funny how you guys hated something back then, but now you love it on PlayStation 5 because they give you the false sense of accomplishment by giving you a trash platinum.
They had no idea what was making stuff good or bad. They had literally no clue. Now, obviously, shooting from the hip, which seems impossible, not only because they have the trillions of dollars of Microsoft behind them, but just the fact that how in 2024 can you be asking such basic questions like, why don't we have games halfway through the 9th generation.
That's funny he's saying that, but he's not even talking about the lack of games of PS5. What are you saying, bro? PS5 has less games than Xbox. Xbox has way more games that have been promised to their audience that are coming out and dropping on Game Pass than Sony. That's facts. This is not fiction. This is facts, bro. You PlayStation fanboys are playing checkers, and us dudes is playing chess with y'all.
These have just been some off-the-cuff thoughts, because honestly, this is wild. You
guys will do anything to hate Xbox. It's fine.
I still stand with Pio. I think this take is the best, which is the fact that, honestly, at this point, Xbox is dead, and it's going to make PlayStation a lot worse because of it.
Oh, PlayStation's getting worse because Xbox is dead. Bro, y'all just don't want to admit defeat, bro. What do you mean? I'm looking forward to Gears Z Day. I'm looking forward to Perfect Dark. I'm looking forward to Elder Scrolls 6. I'm looking forward to these games. Now, I don't know when these games going to come out, but I'm looking forward to Fable. So I don't know what you ponies looking forward to. Maybe you're looking forward to Xbox games to inevitably drop on PS5. Maybe you're looking for Microsoft's failure so you can play these games. But then that goes back to your point of being a hypocrite of Xbox not having any games. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, these ponies are in distress. They're in the stables. They got to come up with any little thing to knock Xbox off their stride right now. And we already know that regardless of how many 70 million sold PlayStation 5 soldiers you got, you can't deal with Microsoft for this 30 million. Keep your casuals and we'll keep our hardcore. Thank you. Take care.